Hi everyone, this is Lights Out 7 with some Week 7 starts and sits. Okay, so without saying the obvious names, we're going to go through the positions and look at some starts. So let's go for quarterback first. I really like Matt Ryan this week, and I like Tua coming back in the same game. I think that's a high-scoring game, which you want to target, obviously, in DFS. We'll talk about some of the options later with, kind of stacking options, but I really like those two. I really like Derek Carr. I really like Jameis Winston this week. So there's a couple of names there that you might want to play. Running backs. So again, leaving out the most popular names. J.D. McKissick is someone you can play this week in any format, I would say, but obviously pass catching is going to be a bonus in the reception leagues. AJ Dillon and Ramondre Stevenson are players that I think you can flex in this bye week pinch because of game script, and the opponents are not that strong against the run. So Washington and New York Jets, I can't see those two winning those games, so I think it's positive game script for the running backs. So a couple of names there if you want to throw in to your flex. And Miles Sanders, they've been talking about getting him some more work, so I'd be interested to see. I think you should start him. Some people might be scared from his recent numbers, but I think this is a game you can play. Wide receivers, my favourite kind of middle name, if you like, to play, Marquez Callaway. He might even be, a deep play for some people, but him and I really like that Winston McCallaway stack this week against Seattle. So I would put him as a strong play if you need a wide receiver, apart from the main obvious starters. Mecole Hardman is another name that you can play in that high-scoring game with Tennessee. Should be. I like Christian Kirk, and I like Rondale Moore, being a bit of a homer there. But, Houston are quite good with the outside receivers, so you're obviously playing D-Hop. AJ Green might struggle against Houston because that's where their strength is. So I'm going to be looking for those two in the middle to pick up the stack. Sterling Shepard's safe. He's got to play. So... you're playing Shepard, but that's another name I want to throw in there. Quite a popular waiver wire pickup this week. Tight ends. So you starting Dallas Goedert, and I like Cole Kmet in this game for Chicago against Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay's defense has been getting better. There's a bit of a misconception there that obviously they're a very pass funnel defense, so the wide receivers should perform. So everyone's jumping a little bit on Aaron Robinson, bounce back week, Dan Mooney, but I actually like Cole Kmet in this one, so don't be scared of him this week. Ross Dwelly's had 91% of snaps without Kittle, and Jimmy Garoppolo's back, and Indianapolis gave up quite a lot of points, if you remember, to Mark Andrews. You could do worse than Ross Dwelly this week. So let's move on to the sits. It's hard to sit so many players in this week 7 with all the buys, as everyone knows, but we could probably do better than Geno Smith. We could probably do better than Carson Wentz at the quarterback position. So those 2 night games, I think, are going to be low scoring. They're already low kind of over-unders. I don't think the weather's that great for both of them. I've had a look at that. San Francisco would like to keep the ball. Indianapolis would like to keep the ball. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So Carson Wentz, even though his numbers are high recently, that's one to be aware of. In one quarterback league, I'd be looking to do better than him this week. Running back, so again, difficult because so many teams are on bye, but Jamal Williams is probably taking himself out of the start discussion altogether. He's now fully sit, in my opinion. Baltimore running backs, so I think all 3 will be health. I think all 3 will be active. So you're looking at Devonta Freeman, Tyson Williams, and Lev Bell. And I think I don't know. I would not start either of them. Now, any of them, because you're looking at Cincinnati's defense. It's actually sneaky good. They will control the ball. Baltimore do that. They do run it as well. But how many catches are they going to get? You're banking on a kind of game from last week. You're banking on a touchdown. and I don't really like that. But they will get yards per carry. That's no doubt. They always have done, the Baltimore Ravens, with Lamar taking the ball, with Cincy's defense getting better. I think that's one to stay away from this week if you can. Wide receivers, same game. Tyler Boyd. I think the Ravens D is getting better. I heard something recently about last week's game that the quarterback really didn't expect Baltimore to give him so many looks. I think they're getting stronger. So I'm looking for this kind of trend now, trends where they turn mid-season. Baltimore's one that's starting to trend in the right direction, the defense. Darnell Mooney, I did discuss this on the Cole Kmet pick on the starts. I think he's a sit. I think Tampa Bay's another team that's getting better defensively. They missed some starters in the secondary early on this season. They look like they're pressuring the quarterback a little bit more. Keep an eye out for that one. Tight ends, I'm a little bit nervous about Gronk. If he plays, I mean, he's not practicing this week. If he plays, how much are we going to get from him? And Chicago are pretty good against tight ends on top of that. Plus, there's so many mouths to feed there. Mo Ali Cox, we talked about that game. We talked about Wentz being a sit. I'm a little bit nervous there. Evan Ingram hasn't showed enough yet. But again, we might be struggling with amount of players on bye. I still would like. So, we talked about Cole Kmet maybe. I probably would go Kmet over Ingram this week. That's probably a bold take. Sneaky defense pickup. Colts, if they're on the wire, they've got San Francisco and then Tennessee, but then they got 3 really nice matchups in a row. They probably won't be on the wire because they played Houston last week. But if they've been dropped, pick them up. Cool. Have a good week, guys. See you later.